It caught on in a flash.
They played the mash.
They played the Monster Mash.
I'm Luke Summerhays.
I'm James G. Miles.
I'm Andrew Rice.
I'm James the Jester Stewart.
And you're listening to a little bonus thing off the Lads What Do Monster Mash.
Ooh.
In this week's episode, we're hunting some demos!
Don't forget the description this time, look.
Kirin Ichiban is the sweetest, most flavoursome beer. That was a joke that will make sense only to us.
Doing yourself more editing work. Like.
I'm leaving that in. One day Kirin Ichiban beer will sponsor us. But yeah, some demos came out recently, so we're going to have a little talk about them.
No, you're of course referring to Monster Hunter Stories and Monster Hunter Double Cross. Which one are we going to talk about first?
I think we should do Double Cross first, because we've probably got a little bit less to say about it.
Yes.
Which is surprising as it's the proper big Monster Hunter game, but
also no, because it is just the Ultimate Edition at the end of the day. So we have been playing that game for like a year or however long it is.
true. But it's
So,
shiny.
There's two big differences. The first, obviously, it's only out in Japanese,
Yes.
which I don't think is the biggest issue. Like,
I think it's the biggest issue.
So,
we know, I think if it was a completely brand new game, or if it was really story heavy like For Honor, it'd be more of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're going to be familiar enough to fudge our way through in Japanese. And by the time it becomes an issue, we'll have built up some gear and we'll be a bit better off. And we'll have got our head around using Karaniko. I'll hopefully be able to read a little bit of the hiragana.
I've got that translate up. I need to try that out, in fact, see how effective it is using the Google Translate picture app. See how that goes.
Yeah, I feel like I could get around like the menus like fine. Like, I know kind of some things from like playing some import games like before, like knowing like what yes and no is and what the characters are for like options, so I could get into that and manage to change some stuff that I want to change, like when trying out the new Hunter art like button options.
So the core game itself, that's still going to be great. You know, that's going to it's Monster Hunter. We know how to play it. We know how to bash the monsters in. I think what's going to be the real issue for myself will be like picking the quest, picking your armor. What do you need to make that piece of armor? Which
I think the quest is less
come up
bad
to.
as you do
Upgrading
get the
armor and
pictures, but it's going to be
what's a negative
the
and
weapons.
positive skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the weapons that are going to kill it for me. I think that's my biggest concern right now.
You just won't be able to do what you normally do, which is try and make every single weapon to the max.
But even then, I don't know how easily I'll be able to do any weapons. My biggest concern is just I won't recognise the monsters' names. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Well,
where
my-
Karaniko's...
Changed like the weapon upgrade system as well, which is like weird. So like you never know. You need to like make sure you're actually like leveling up the base weapon
I think
before it unlocks the other ones that goes off into the weapon tree.
it shows you a little image and stuff. I don't think that would be too complicated.
Yeah, but like it's still like
And I think
one misclick. I mean, you've made a weapon you didn't want to make.
Plus,
so.
Karaniko's really good in terms of that sort of side of the game, so I'm not too concerned there. I think one of the disappointing things is that, well, for me personally, I don't think with the language barrier I'm going to play Brave or especially play Alchemy style, because I don't
Not
think
for a
I'll
while. Not
understand
until
the
there's some
intricacies.
very in-depth YouTube videos out there.
Yes, get on that, Gaijin Hunter.
It's such a shame because I really enjoyed like Alchemy style when I tried it, but just didn't have a clue what I was doing and what all these little buffs like actually done.
But the reason I'm not as worried about a lot of things you're saying is I am going to play the fuck out of this game. I'm going to do so many hunts so many times. I'm going to have loads of items because of the other big change, which is that this is on the Nintendo Switch. And fuck me, it feels good playing Monster Hunter on my Switch.
It's so good having like playing Monster Hunter with a normal controller.
On a TV as well.
Yeah.
Because
Once again, this isn't the advantage that I wanted it to be. Like, well, once again, this is with the caveat, obviously, that they may fix this in the actual full game. But the controls were just shit. Like, I don't particularly like the L and R buttons on the Switch at the best of times. Like, they're irritating, clicky little things that aren't satisfying to push, and certainly not hold down for an extended period of time. And obviously, if you're going to be running and that kind of crap, it just doesn't suit it. So I'm constantly pressing ZR, trying to run, and it's just doing nothing.
I've
So
got a question
right
for
now
you,
it's an
Andy.
issue. Yeah.
Have you played with your new shiny Pro Controller yet?
I have played with the Pro Control, and once again, it's fine, but I would still much rather be pressing the ZR
I
button.
get what you mean to a certain degree, because like with the Pro Controller and with just normal Joy Cons, your fingers want to naturally rest on the ZL
Yeah,
and ZR buttons.
and that's
So there was a case there, like in my first few hunts, there was times where I would misclick and I'm like, why am I not running? Why am I not scrolling through my weapons?
yeah.
Items rather. But after a few hunts, I got used to it and I love it.
Don't get me wrong. I'm sure I can push through it to do it, but it's right now it's a real irritant for me. It's so unnatural to be pressing those buttons, and it's just simply not as comfortable to do.
Yeah, you've always changed your button setup though.
Oh, I've always used this.
Ever
Yeah,
since
yeah.
the Wii U version.
So to follow up Andy's classic negativity, I'll give you some of my classic positivity. I've been thinking about having Monster Hunter on this console since the very first rumours came out that it was going to be a hybrid, because I really like having Monster Hunter as a handheld game just because of how much I play it. And I like being able to just think, well, I'm going to do like 10 of these today, so I don't want to have to be sat in front of the TV doing all of them. And just dip in, do a hunt, drop out. But I also, because it's an action-heavy game, and it's a 3D combat-based game, having proper analog sticks, and proper controllers, compared to getting my 3DS out and making my hands into claws, feels really nice.
That's the one thing I'm going to have to get my head around again, because I'm from playing 4 Ultimate and Generations, I was so used to just using the target cam a lot to position the camera and actually having a right analog stick.
I used the Circle Pad Plus and then also the new 3DS little nub a lot. So it
On
feels.
Generations, I still use the digital D-pad. So
Whereas for me, it still
touch
feels
screen.
natural to use the stick, and then it also is a proper stick that works.
See, that's quite interesting because I'm a big user of the nub, but the stick still felt really odd to me. I don't know why. I think it was the sort of the speed it could react.
It's probably the default setting. You could usually change that. So
Oh
it
yeah, no,
tracks a
obviously
lot faster.
I could change my sensitivity and stuff. Yeah, but it did feel odd, not a bad kind of odd, but it just I can move the camera however I want again. Which in 3 obviously I did a lot because it was the most logical way of
That's
doing
what I'm
it.
saying. It's getting myself back into that mindset, the muscle memory, of using the right analog stick to move the camera.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't look as good as Monster Hunter World, what we've seen of that, which looks phenomenal.
Still looks pretty.
But
damn good, though.
after years of the 3DS, it still looks really nice,
Yes.
and the hybrid factor as well means that I'm very happy with this game.
The only thing that looks a bit bad is they've not really upped the res on some of the HUD elements, like the health bar, stamina, the names and stuff are a bit
Grainy.
I mean,
noticed
they're
that.
nice enough.
grainy. Yeah.
I did notice that, but in terms of actual, especially the hunter models, the monster models, they look
Especially the skyboxes look amazing. Usually stand on the edge of a cliff. Very pretty.
good.
So yeah, I'm very excited to devote a preposterous amount of my life to playing that video game. It'll probably be my 4th or 5th Switch game that I get over 100 hours on, so that was a good investment.
Good console.
Got no games though. Other than
Speaking
that,
of a console with games,
So
3DS,
the other
it
demo, which
lives.
came out sort of on the same day, Monster Hunter Stories for the Nintendo 3DS. See,
I'm impressed.
yeah, it was kind of the opposite of Double Cross, where I knew exactly what that was and I already knew I wanted it.
Yep.
Whereas with Stories, there was still a lot of questions in my mind, and I was like, is it going to be okay? Is it going to feel like just a spin-off that doesn't really count?
I suppose that's why they put a demo out for it at the end of the day.
Yep. But it manages to feel very different, but also still feel very true to Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
One of the big issues I had going in, and I know this is just me being stupid, but obviously in Monster Hunter you kill all the monsters, and then Monster Hunter Stories was a bit more Pokemon. You raise the monsters. I was like, is this going to make me feel like everyone in all the other Monster Hunter games is just a dick who kills monsters for fun? But Monster Hunter Stories does a really good job of still making the monsters threatening.
Well, this is not even that. Like, I mean, the story is well handled in it. Like, obviously the demo is limited, but like the story explained very well why it's these guys that aren't killing them. They're riding them as well.
Yeah,
So,
it's
like,
it's a special like power that they've got. They also have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
raise them from eggs, so it's not like if a monster attacked the village, you could just be like, no, I'm going to befriend it instead. And then right at the start, the fucking Nagakuga straight up kills that kid's mum.
See,
Aye.
see when you posted that in the forum, the image I had in my head was far, far more brutal than what actually
Were
happened.
you imagining the start of Attack on Titan when it kills
Yeah.
Eren?
It was. It's like maybe like the Narga's tail like impaling the mum, and it like turns to the poor sobbing child with like a sneaky look on its face.
It turns to the child and it just starts eating her like a shish kebab while she's still on its tail.
Yeah. Spoilers, I suppose, for Monster Stories.
I mean,
it's
it's
very early.
the very
it is
start of the
very
game.
early. Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like a very unique, Pokemon-y, Digimon-y type thing, whilst also feeling like it absolutely is part of that same world that I know and love.
And one thing that I was quite surprised by is sort of the art style of it. Like, obviously, it looks very cel shaded from, just looking at it in general. But when they've got their cutscenes in the game, it still really matches the standard style. So I was quite impressed by that.
It's a really pretty looking game, actually.
It does
And
look nice.
after years of Pokemon being the same fucking flat grid that it's been since like 1998 or whatever, having a really 3D like world for that sort of game feels phenomenal. Like, this feels like what Pokemon would be if it was actually made in the 21st century.
Sun and
and they
Moon
would-
kind of improved that, to be fair.
They
but
improved a
you've not played
bit,
that
but
yet.
even so, like the
No, I
bare
did not
bones
play
of
that
that
yet.
game still feel very retro.
Who's not played Sun and Moon? It's one of you.
Nick.
It's you.
Yes,
Yeah,
Andy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to buy it, especially considering the demo progress.
Oh, I'm
transfers over.
getting this day fucking one. I absolutely love that demo. Like, I'm so excited to play more. Like, I played the whole thing to the point where it was like, oh, you've got to stop playing now, and I was just absolutely devastated. Like,
No,
my
I
main-
want the whole game free.
Well, that's it. It's so weird because like it gives you so much that you're just like, is this ever going to stop? It's never going to stop. I'm just having so much fun. But then it cut me off.
I was actually surprised, like the amount of like kind of stuff that allows you to do in the demo as well.
Well, see,
like,
there's
obviously
so much
transfer your
side
save over
quests.
to the main game when you buy it. But
Yeah, there's so many side quests. You can get a nice collection of monsters ready to go. Like my Azurus was my good boy.
Yes, mate.
yeah, I quite enjoyed it, like which kind of surprised me because I don't typically like kind of turn-based like JRPGs.
Yeah, I was
that
going to
much,
bring that
but
up because like
from the battle system, it's quite simple and like
Oh, the battle system
it
is
relies
so
it
good.
relies on you knowing. I like the fact that if you got like knowledge of a monster, you should know how to attack it or
Yep.
what its attacks are going to be.
Yeah, that's very cool. And I also like the fact that like you don't like control the monsters directly. Like the monsters do act independently and they do stupid things because they are monsters. They're acting on their own.
Yeah, I hate it like when they're winding up like to do a technical attack and you're like, what you doing? Like the other monster's going to win that battle.
Yeah, but it's good because obviously they aren't clever. They are
Yeah,
stupid
Yeah,
Which
beasts.
it brings a good element of strategy into the battle system as well, I think.
Yeah.
Jay will know what I'm talking about, but it felt very Digimon World.
Yep, I would agree with that. Fucking Agumon, listen to me, please.
I don't know about Digimon World, but yeah, some of it certainly felt like the Digimon game I did play, like particularly with the collection system and all your upgrades and stuff. But
Glazing over a little bit, guys. Digimon, Pokemon.
But one thing I don't know if you guys have noticed as well is that the crafting system in it, like it's very true to the normal Monster Hunter. Like breaks and stuff. That's something that I only experienced on a very very late. Not even parts. Like there is actually a bit later on in the demo where you can like break a Garuga's head. So you can actually aim for
I've
specific
done that.
parts.
Like, I think
and-
that's one of the last things I've done.
Yeah. So you can still do the sort of breaking specific parts, aiming for certain parts on a monster to get extra rewards and stuff. So yeah,
It
it's
actually
really
confused
cool.
me because there was like a weird, I think it was like maybe a translation like kind of issue where Naviru like mentions like right now attack the body, and what he means is attack that specific body part, like attack his head.
Yeah, I don't know.
So for a few turns, I was like attacking the monster and not attacking the head. I'm like, here, what's happening here?
Do
Like, why is it not breaking?
do we know how many monsters are in stories?
I don't and I don't want to
I
know
don't
because
think it's huge,
Oh,
but
I've
From
heard
what I've
Gaijin
seen.
Hunter
Oh,
saying
do
it's
you
worth
think so?
not knowing because there's some fun surprises later on.
I'm in it.
But he was saying he's put hundreds of hours into this game.
yeah, I think it's easy to do. Like, I don't bother with sort of collecting in Pokemon, but the way that it works in that, I can see myself going for the whole shebang.
It'd be good to look forward to kind of.
Gotta hatch them all!
Monsters and like building like little squads because I know you can save. Specifically, you can make almost like an item set, but with the monsters.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
So have a little squad like saved and ready to go for when you want certain traveling to certain areas or doing certain battles.
I'm gutted. I got the hatch them all joke.
No, we heard it. I just ignored it.
I want you to acknowledge it. Give me attention.
3 out of 10, Jay, try harder.
Or don't. You just leave it.
Overall, though, that demo was so good that I found it kind of annoying because I'm looking forward to sort of putting my 3DS to bed.
Nah,
Honestly, I
3DS,
don't care
3DS
about that.
lives.
3DS is with me forever.
And here's another great game that I'm going to put a huge amount of hours into.
3DS
And
lives,
then-
mate.
I've still got Monster Hunter 4 I need to properly finish so that we can hunt some of those monsters for the cast.
Get
I
me
still haven't
Tokyo.
finished the Phoenix Wright games.
Yeah, you got.
A little part of me does wish Monster Hunter Stories was like maybe delayed a little bit longer and then put to the Switch.
I
That'd
don't
be-
understand the issue. It's on
Still
the.
a
It's a
little, just a
three.
little bit of me. Still
It's
little
a
part.
3DS game. Leave it be.
Yeah, it's fine. No, I'll buy it. Like, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it.
Plus, if we buy it, it might persuade them
I just
to
don't think it won't be a day one buy from me.
port
Like,
double cross to the west.
From the most part, there's a lot of stuff coming out in September that I'm buying. So
Busy month.
Keep being optimistic, Jay. Keep being optimistic.
Well, you never know. They might think, this spin-off has sold really bloody well. They
well,
obviously
well,
are really
the
excited for
last-
World!
I'm pretty sure the last few have sold pretty fucking well, but they still aren't bringing it over.
I think if it sold super well, they'd think, oh, this 3DS version has sold really well. Let's bring
Yeah, let's
out
bring
Double Cross for the
crossover on
3DS.
3DS.
I'd probably buy it. That's the thing.
I would rather play it on 3DS than on Switch in Japanese, that's for sure.
I think I'm the other way around, but oh well.
Yeah, but you actually want to learn Japanese.
Well, there's
I
also
don't. Japanese is an irritating barrier. That's all it is to me.
I'm tempted to learn Japanese, but that's because big old
You're a
weeb.
weeb.
Anyway, so if you've enjoyed this, we normally do a little podcast where we talk about a monster from the Monster Hunter games every week. Look it up, it's on YouTube, but I find people who listen to podcasts on YouTube a bit weird. So look it up on iTunes or something.
Wow! Let's isolate our fan base!
I listen to a few podcasts on YouTube.
Oh!
That's
We're
not an
also
official
on-
Monster Hunter opinion. Monster Mash opinion.
I didn't say you were bad, I just said you're a bit weird.
That's not much better!
That's not an official Monster Mash opinion. What is an official Monster Mash opinion? Is Cinema Sins is shite.
It's just 'cause I use my laptop a lot though, and I just like, I'll maybe put like Daft Souls on or something and then play a game.
Look what you've done. Look, you've hurt Jazz's feelings. End this cast.
I
End
mean,
this now.
you know, if it's Darth Souls you're using as your example, then
Put it
you're
on screen a pill.
you're really not much of a podcast listener, are you? Because there aren't fucking Darth Souls episodes.
Other than that, though, if you've liked the footage which was playing under the Double Cross discussion on this episode, look forward to Monster Mash Double Chris, something soon, where the idiot you were watching fail will be trying his best to get good at Monster Hunter with
Amazing.
my tutelage.
Also, wait, is that name not a bit misleading? I mean, I know this is probably something I should have brought up a bit sooner, but you're not Chris.
I know, if my name was Chris, it would be a perfect name. As it is, it's a bit dumb. But what you got? That's why the
Such
logo
is
is 2 Chris's.
The Monster Mash. Until then, thank you for listening.
And watching, because this one is appropriate for YouTube.
You
Yeah,
weirdo.
Yeah, you weirdo.
For weirdos like me.
See ya.